Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing? Thanks for watching this video. As I was starting to do videos and I was thinking of going consumer based, and I'm still going to do consumer based, but I also wanted to, it just came to me just to start talking to my fellow agents out there. I know many people if you're like me, YouTube has been extreme blessing to me. It's been a blessing that I've been able to sometimes just sit and listen to videos, listen to other people talk about their experiences and how they got started. And so I said, well, why not? Why not share how I got started? And so I'll be sharing some information with those that, hey, it may be beneficial for you, it may not, but I hope that it does. I got started in insurance because my grandmother got sick. I had to navigate the system for her and figured it out and said, man, how many other people out there are dealing with the similar issues that my grandmother is dealing with? She had Medicare, and we didn't know anything about Medicare. Medicare, what's Medicare? So you hear all these other things that people are talking about. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. You can go there, you can go here. And so I just took it upon myself to educate myself. And then as a result, said, well, I should go ahead and get licensed in this as well. So I got licensed and been working ever since. I had a mindset that I really did not want to work for anybody else. Didn't want to go to anybody else's agency. So I took the long way around, started my own insurance agency, took breaks in between, obviously, where there were some dead periods, some ups and downs, some dead periods due to several reasons in life. But there were some times when, honestly, I was just discouraged. One thing about insurance, you see the numbers of what you could make, where you could be, what you could do, and then you get discouraged. And so I got discouraged several times, and in the process of starting my agency, and I would stop and I would go, stop, go, stop, go. And but you have to be consistent. Consistency is important here. And so, as you can see on the screen there, and just by the title of the channel, Medicare Ministry, this is ministry for me. This is what I do for my service unto the Lord. I put the Lord first in all that I do, and I try to show that with my clients. I want to show you that I'm here to give you what you need and not what I want you to have. So I'll always be upfront and honest with my clients, and I take care of them, and as a result, they obviously take care of me. So how do you start in an insurance agency? He said, all right, Ricky, that's why I clicked on the video. All this extra stuff is it's here, it's there. The very first thing you're going to have to do is obviously you're going to take, if you don't have a license, I'm going to assume as if you're a brand new agent, never been in an insurance agency, and just want to know what's what. And I'm out of California, so I'm just giving you my experience from California. Very first thing I had to do was I had to go ahead and take my pre-licensing classes. That's gonna be the first thing you got to do. You got to do pre-licensing. Pre-licensing class. I personally went through. I don't know if I should say their name. Well, I guess I could. I used AD Banker. That's the pre-licensing class that I took. Went online. It was a 40-hour life, health, and ethics class. Took that class, and obviously, you study the material, and you go as you progress through the material. There's quizzes at the end of each section, and then once you get completed with all the sections or the chapters rather in the pre-licensing class, you then can go on to the final exam, at which point you can schedule yourself for your pre-licensing or your licensing exam through the state. And so once you complete the pre-licensing class, the company, whoever you choose, several companies out there. Again, I said I use AD Banker. I don't have any stake in it, but that's what I use. They'll upload it to the state, and that'll be the proof that you completed your pre-licensing class. One of the things I learned, though, as I look at it now, is that I would suggest that if once you start your pre-licensing class, go ahead and schedule your exam for your license in advance, because sometimes the test dates can be pretty far out. So if you know it's going to take you 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks to complete the pre-licensing class, and some people can finish it fast. It just depends upon how much time you have on your hands. You can get that 40 hours done within a week. Hey, more power to you. You're really, blowing through it. But you want to take your time to make sure that you understand the material so that you'll be successful on the exam. So I take the pre-licensing class, so I'd recommend that you go ahead and schedule it. If you know it's going to take you 2 to 4 weeks, then that way schedule your exam for 5 to 6 weeks, and that way you already have your date. The second thing I had to do was, obviously, as I said, I had to go and take the state exam. All right, I had to go down to a place, take my state exam, took the test, and yeah, it was. I honestly said, man, I don't know if I was ready. Right, I was a little shaky, and I know some of you are like, oh, I got to cram, I got to study, I got to study, 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 study. Listen, you know the information. I was pleasantly surprised about how much information I actually knew when I took the exam. I was like, oh, I don't know any of this stuff. I don't, but the Lord recalled it back to my mind, and I was able, to pass because they let you know right then and there once you complete the exam whether you pass. So the exam was about 2 hours or so. I really wanted to take my time to check the questions to make sure that I passed. So I didn't have to pay. I believe it was $95 at the time. I don't want to have to pay $95 again. So I passed the test, and then I had to pay my state fees. So the next thing you have to do is you're gonna have to pay your state fees. I don't know how much it costs in your state, but you're gonna have to pay those fees once you get your licensing, and then there's gonna be a waiting game. You submit it. Actually, here I had to do fingerprints, a live scan, in addition to paying the fees. Send the paperwork in. The application fee was about $250 or so. So in total, so right now you figure I'm out of 200 for the pre-license, another 100 for the state exam, and now we got another 250 for the actual licensing fee. So they're gonna get their money along the way. And there's a waiting game. And so in between the time I submitted my paperwork and paid my fees, I'd say it took about 2.5 to 3 weeks for me to actually be licensed by the state. And then once I get my license, I'm so happy, like, oh, I'm ready to go now. Got my license. I'm a real insurance agent. But then I found out, no, there was a lot more that still needed to be done. So there are still other continuing education classes you're going to have to take. Your long-term care, your money laundering classes. Those are all things that you're going to have to take just to even be able to get contracts with many of the insurance carriers. So another thing I learned was with money laundering is that I paid for it out of my pocket, but it was not accepted by several of the insurance companies. So they have I would recommend that you wait until you get contracted with an insurance agency. You guys have to excuse all the noise in the background. I'm working somewhere today, and you can hear all the kids everywhere. But what you could with the money laundering, as I was saying, with money laundering, the insurance companies will have you take their own money laundering exams. So, paying for it yourself, it's going to save you 30, 40, $50, so you don't have to do it. But you will have to take a long-term care. Here in California, you have to take long-term care for newly licensed agents if you want to plan on selling long-term care. And then you'll be good to go. So those are some additional fees that you'll have to pay. But then I said, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to do Medicare. I'm good to go. Can I get my licenses? And so I began to apply to several places and see what's what. But then I found that I had to take another exam, AHIP. If you plan on doing Medicare, you're going to have to take the AHIP exam. AHIP is the exam that's required for all agents if you want to sell Medicare, right? So now I have to take this exam. Lots of questions, lots of detailed information. It took me a little while to get it and to study it, but thankfully I was able to do so. So once I passed my AHIP, I said, all right, now I'm really ready. Now what do I need to do? I'm ready to go. I have all this stuff. Well, there's still another step. You got to get with an FMO. Finding the right FMO is important. I can tell you that not all FMOs are made the same. Some FMOs are good, some are not so good. Some are A-okay, others are not even worth your time. The first FMO I went to, they sent me a 35-page contract. And I said, man, what is this? This is I don't like the verbiage in this thing. Well, this is what goes on. This is how we do business, and so on and so forth. So automatically, when I saw that, I said, no, I don't want to do business with these guys. Anybody that sends you a 35-page contract, any FMO that sends you a 35-page contract, you probably don't want to do business with them. Just my opinion. So I found a really great FMO that I do most of my business with. I'll probably say I do 90% of my business with this particular FMO, and I'll name them one of these days. But they do really great work, really great support, and any issues I've ever had, they've been right there to assist and to help me out. So I love them. And then I have another FMO that I use for certain contracts, because what you'll find is that one FMO, there may be one company or two companies that you really want that your main FMO does not contract with, and so you have to go out and find another FMO that you can work with. So that's very important. So getting with your FMO, getting your contracts, making sure you got the right commissions and so on and so forth. And commissions will be a completely different video that we'll talk about. But getting with the right FMO, with the right support team, and getting you through what you need to do. So that's what I had to do. I got my FMO. Then once I got my contracts with the FMO, I was like, all right, I'm ready to sell now. I was already ready for life insurance and everything else. But then for Medicare, I found there was still another step. I said, man, there's all these steps. The carrier exams. So you take your AHIP, right? But each carrier. So if you're contracted with all the big carriers out there for Medicare, guess what? Each individual carrier has their own exams that you must pass and that you must take and pass. And if you fail any of their tests, you fail it, I believe it's 3 times, then you won't be able to sell for them for a period of 12 months. So it's very important that you really, take your time, that you study, and that you make sure that you pass. So there's a lot of work involved here, right? So here you are getting licensed. You're spending a lot of time to get yourself licensed and to get yourself, taken care of. And I was doing all this stuff in the evening times. So, from 6 to 10, 6 to 11 o'clock at nighttime, just to get all this stuff, squared away so I can get it properly licensed. So once I pass all the carrier exams, now I'm officially ready to go out and sell. But the issue was I said, man, I don't have any customers. I've done all this work. I've got all this stuff. I've got myself together. I'm motivated. I'm excited, but I don't have any customers. What am I going to do? And that'll be a video for another day as well. How am I going to obtain my customers? Where am I going to go? And so I had my agency set up, but then, I had my license set up. Then I found out that although I was licensed, I was still missing one step. And that was obtaining my agency license, right? So initially, when you license or get contracted and go through the exams, you're going to get your individual license. But in order to have your own agency officially, a lot of people say, I have my own insurance agency, but you look them up on the state website, all they have is their individual, license, so they don't have their own agency. But you have to have a separate agency license. So with that said, you may want to form, you will need to form your own agency business formation with your Secretary of State in your state. Go out, file, and you can do I would recommend that you get your business filing done up front as well, right? So you need to get that done immediately at the top. If you know you're going to start your own agency, you need to file that so that it ought to already be ready. Get your bank accounts open, everything will be good to go. Because in insurance, the money that you put in for your individual, you can't put in your business account. So they need to be separate. So you're going to have an individual bank account for your individual contracts. And then once you apply for your agency license, then you have to recontract again, right, with all of the contracts that you already have for your agency. So if you have a life insurance contract or and a Medicare contract as an individual, you're going to have to redo that contract again in order to get that going. So I hope that this video has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Be happy to help you. I'll be in a much more quieter place next time. So until next time, bless you. God bless you. God keep you. And I hope that this video has been helpful for you.